Hi class, welcome to week 13. Let's take a look at what we have going on this week. All right, so week 13, it's your second draft of the research paper, Passive Voice Usage, and Titles and Abstracts. All right, so if you click on that, that brings you to this page here. Here's the roadmap I'm going to take you through, including item 1, watch this video that you're watching right now. So if you're watching this, of course, well, you already know about this. But anyway, the rest of these items, here they are again on the week 13 module. You can click through and follow this list too if you like. All right. So the first thing, Steve Kirk. I love this guy. His videos are just very informative, and this time it's about writing titles and abstracts. Okay. So after you watch that 4-minute video, then there's 2 style guide discussions. One on analyzing titles. So talk about what you see going on in the titles in the papers in your style manual corpus. You could even paste in, all of the titles because this is pretty short. Anyway, I'll see what you guys come up with, and then the abstracts. So don't paste in all the abstracts for here. Just analyze one abstract of your choice, and then comment on some of the things that you see going on in it. Comment on each other's abstract so that you can then make something or pull it into your report for this week. Okay. Actually, I think I thought I had a reply to mine here where I commented on some of the grammar. I'll have to check on that later. Anyway, after that, oh yeah, and one more thing about abstracts. So here's a scan of a page from an old textbook we used to use, and a lot of the same information that you will already have seen, but this one's nice because it shows both a typical abstract and an abbreviated abstracts. So some abstracts can be as many as 400 or even 500 words if they're really detailed. Other abstracts have to be very short, and this one shows sort of a way of thinking about how to shorten an abstract. And you can then see what kind of abstracts do people tend to write in your field of study. So with all that, then it's time to do the style guide for titles and abstracts. So and I think that's the last piece of the style guide you have to do before you're going to put together the entire thing in the overall document. Okay, then onward to our next practice paraphrase. So this one is from Li-Bin Zhu and about neural networks. Okay. So as usual, remember to give an in-text citation of this Zhang et al. Source and all the other usual advice. Okay, this is new for this time. So this week I'm going to be meeting with some of you for your research paper consultation. In fact, looks like I'll be meeting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you this week, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 next week. Wow, well, that's only 10, and there are 19 people in the class, so the 9 who haven't signed up for an appointment spot yet better do it quick because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 slots. Well, there's only 4 slots left for next week. For this week, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slots left. Right? If you don't sign up for these spots, and then you have to do it next week, you might not be able to schedule a time. They might all be taken. So schedule one now if you haven't already. That's part of last week's list of to-do items. Okay, where were we? Yes, so before you come in there for your consultation, I want you to read your Turnitin Feedback Studio report, because I've been seeing too many students who come in and I bring up the Feedback Studio reports, and they say, "What? Wow, where did that come from? How do I view that?" So I'm pretty sure I did a video on this and sent it out or put instructions in some previous weeks, but now I'm making it an assignment. So I want you to send me a screenshot and prove to me that you found the Turnitin feedback report. And if you've forgotten how to do it, here's a page that explains how to do it. And this is also where I'm telling you to put the questions you have for your meeting now. If you because you can't really tell me what you want to talk about until I've given you some feedback. So that was what some of you wrote already, and that's a very good point. So view your feedback, show me the screenshot, and then in here tell me what things you'd like to talk about based either on my feedback or on just your own thoughts or both. And then of course there's actually attending your consultation. So before you come, upload the most recent version of your research paper. So after you get my feedback, I expect you to start making some changes, right? It's not going to be perfect, of course, but I at least want you to start doing some stuff. And then it needs to be uploaded here so that we can download it and make more changes, okay? And then, of course, actually attend the meeting, right? Moving on to some videos. The grammar this week is about passive voice. Now, last week you formed the passive voice in all these various tenses. Now it's time to talk about why and when to use it. So this guy has a pretty good overview of it, except for one thing. Watch out. You will see that reason number 3 here for using passive voice is sentence variety. And in my view, that is a bad reason to use passive voice. If you use passive voice just because for variety, your reader is not going to expect that, and they may try to figure out some other reason for you using passive voice and try to get some message that you're not sending. So you can ignore what he says about this third reason, but the rest is pretty good. Also, here's a little bit more about using passive voice in this video called Sentence Clarity. It's all about putting old information at the beginning of the sentence and then the new information. When it's possible. It's not always possible, but when you can do that, it makes the papers easier to read. And one way that will allow you to do it sometimes is with passive voice. So 2 videos on when and how to use passive voice. And then with that, a discussion on reasons for using the passive voice. So I want you to find some examples of passive voice in some papers, and then talk about why you think the person might have been using it. So here's an example I have, and notice I'm talking about old information and new information. So passive voice sentence, and then give me your best educated guess for why the author might have used it. Or if you think the author did not have any good reason for using it, tell me that too. But what I don't want you to do is to just make up some reason that that is not in either of those videos. All right, choose from those reasons. Don't start making up new reasons for using passive voice. And then finally, the research paper second draft is coming in. So for the second draft, I'll be grading on different things than I graded the first draft on. It'll be on the conclusion, the grammar, and your in-text citation practices. So your paraphrasing and your summarizing and your quotations if you use any of those. Although, as usual, I may offer some comments on other things too for you to change, because in the final draft, I'm going to grade on all the items from the first draft and the second draft. Right? Now, I do have a rubric for this, and the best way to get a good grade on this is to view the rubric and make sure that your paper is following the rubric, and email me if you have questions about whether it's following the rubric, or ask me about it in the when we meet. But to see the rubric, well, you have to go through this very inconvenient process. I hope Carmen Canvas will fix it soon, but they show no signs of doing it yet. So for right now, this is just what you have to do, because the rubric is too big for me to take a screenshot of it and cut it down and put it on the screen anymore. It's just, you might as well just go through these steps here to see the rubric very clearly. All right. Okay, and then once again, yeah, here's our calendar. So that's all I have. I see I've got a couple of research paper first drafts in already, so I'm going to turn to grading those, and I will see some of you later this week. Here we go. Bye.